Climate change is not a debate at all, but a reality. With this premise, we start this The Daily Eco video, in which we will explain 5 arguments against the denial of climate change, based of course on scientific evidence. Let's dive right in. One, how can there be climate change if it is cold? We'll start with the classic denialist argument. How can climate change happen when it's cold? The answer to this question is one of the easiest to debate. The fact that low temperatures are recorded in a specific place and time does not mean that globally there is not an overall warming. Focusing on one specific study is just not enough, since on average and throughout the entire planet, temperatures are on the rise. Warm periods have much more weight, and there is an increase in global temperature. We also see a clear change in the increase in minimum temperatures recorded, and it has been observed that the number of heat waves is also increasing and that these in turn last for more days with extreme temperatures. Number 2. Water is the greenhouse gas more powerful than carbon dioxide. Water in the form of vapor state is indeed a more powerful greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. However, this isn't a fact that scientists want to hide from us. So, does this mean that carbon dioxide is unimportant? Of course not, as this in no way denies the role of carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas and its role in the global increase in temperature. In fact, this increase in temperature caused by carbon dioxide causes more water to evaporate, which in turn causes the temperature to increase more and more, causing a loop effect. Number 3. Current climate change is part of a natural cycle. The truth, in quotation marks, is that in the history of Earth, we have had several climate changes, but the current climate change is unprecedented, since it's not only important how much the temperature increases, but also for how long it does this for. People who deny the existence of climate change also support the idea that it is part of a natural cycle, saying that the rise in temperature that we're having now is nothing more than the recovery of the temperatures from the Ice Age, and that we'll be entering a warm period, as we already did in the late Middle Ages. But there are 2 important flaws in this assessment. 1. The temperature's anomalies of those times were smaller that we are having today, and it occurred on a larger time scale. 2. The drop and rise in temperatures in these periods were not global, but rather regional changes affecting Greenland, Iceland, Eastern America, and North or Western Europe. 4. A few more degrees isn't that bad. It must be clear that when we say a couple of degrees, whether it be 2 or 3, we're talking about the average increase of the overall planet, not just one place. This means that there are areas in which the ascent will be greater. In fact, it is what is being observed right now in the polar circles, which are warming much more than the rest of the planet. Second, just because there have been periods in Earth's history where naturally the temperature has risen somewhat more than it is today, does not mean that it is a good thing or something that we can just ignore. Climate change has caused mass extinctions of species and have caused changes in all biodiversity of the planet. 5. Scientists manipulate data. This is one of the most used arguments against climate change, but at the same time the most simplistic, as they try to attack the credibility of the scientists who are in charge of studying the climate. In 1988, the United Nations created the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, aka IPCC. It consists of thousands of experts from more than 100 countries who contribute voluntarily to review all the studies on climate change from around the world and draw conclusions. It would be impossible for such a large number of scientists to agree to lie about the data obtained, and the consensus regarding the danger of climate change is 97%. Finally, let's not forget that millions of dollars are invested in perpetuating the doubt about climate change, as this is cheaper for certain sectors than changing the current economic model. And with that, we finish today's The Daily Eco video. We hope that these arguments will help you educate others on this important subject, and we'll see you in the next video.